I really fucking love snacks.
Hello and welcome to Snack Time. I'm your host, Lindsay Adams. Thank you so much for listening, and thanks for subscribing and writing reviews and all of the stuff that you do to support the podcast. I'm so grateful, and I mean it, even if I sound like I don't. I'm really excited for this episode because it is long overdue. This comedian, I'm just going to, Joe Kwaczala, join this podcast.
Here I am. I'm here now. Everyone can relax.
Now. He wasn't here before. He wasn't listening to me do the intro.
I just got here.
Yeah. He walked in the Zoom.
I'm very confused and bewildered.
Joe is a very funny comedian. Also very big snack fan, impressively.
Huge. Big time snack guy.
I didn't know the extent of it until you were on top of all of the special edition shit that I'm trying to be on top of.
Yeah, that really that went to a new level during lockdown. Honestly, during quarantine, that gave me something to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where it was going to the gas station or the grocery store was something that we were still doing. And it was okay, well, what about, cause I don't know, during the very beginning days of lockdown, in March, April, 2020, for me, and especially with my girlfriend, we were we need activities. We need things to sure, we can watch TV and movies and stuff, but also it was well, what if I just one day picked up every iteration of M&Ms I could find at the gas station and brought them back and was here's something we can do. We can taste test these. We can evaluate them. We can rank them. And that was kind of the beginning of it. And we have not stopped. And it has been 2 years since that experiment began.
That's such a beautiful inception of a great habit. When the pandemic started, I got every flavor of Pop-Tart that I could find.
That's great.
I did a Pop-Tart tournament, and I still have Pop-Tarts sitting in I just have so many Pop-Tarts now.
Well, it's hard, particularly with Pop-Tarts, because only some flavors come in the just two. If you want to try Pop-Tarts, they come in a box of a lot. Probably 8 to 12 minimum.
Yes.
And so you just have if you just want to taste it, you don't need more than half of a Pop-Tart to do that. Half of one.
No,
yeah.
No, not at all. And I had to get a shit ton of boxes. And it was one of those things, you know how when you go to Ralph's, they have a yellow tag that's buy 10, save $5 or something. And it's don't be ridiculous. I'm not buying 10 of anything. I go to Costco.
Right.
This was a situation where that did work out for me.
You had a reason to want to buy 10 of something.
Yeah. I was okay, well, let's get into it. And I was never my mom wouldn't let me have Pop-Tarts growing up. So I was this is so fun. This is the coolest thing ever. So I'm with you. I feel it is a fun activity. I've always liked getting a little bit of a variety of things, but now I agree. Post-pandemic, I'm YOLO, baby.
Well, yeah, I also fell into the candy Instagram accounts.
Yes.
And the kind of breaking news on the candy fronts. So now I know what's hitting the shelves, where they're going to be. And I've become an amateur candy hunter.
Yes, I'm so with you. The candy, and I'm also so deeply jealous and so desperate to be one of those people.
Yeah, one of the candy influencers.
Yeah, I want to be a candy influencer because they send them the special edition stuff before it comes out so that they'll post about it. And it's nobody's going to send it to my podcast because Nabisco's not holy shit, 500 followers on Instagram.
Yeah, you're not putting up the numbers that they need to justify. But if only.
I mean, I think I would be great at it, but also mostly I just want the free candy. And I also want to try like the cool, weird shit because I don't know. And I don't know if I just didn't notice, but you tell me what you think. I feel like they, during the pandemic, ramped up the iterations of different things even more.
Potentially, although it's hard for me to really tell because I was so in it, and was it like it's just more visible to me now because I'm paying attention. But I do feel I kind of get what you're saying though, because in the past few years, the idea of an absurd amount of iterations of a snack has become the norm, and like Oreo has for sure blazed the trail for that. Like that's their business model now, is to have so many very specific types of flavor that it's more about how silly it is, how many variations there are, than it is if they taste good.
Totally.
It's like they come and go. And now everything is like, you're seeing like, it's gotten to like Peeps. Like there's a million different types of Peeps, and that was never a thing before.
I bought a bunch of them, by the way.
What's the verdict? I haven't had any. I'm not a Peeps guy. So I was just like, I don't think I'm going to, I need to pick Haley and I, my girlfriend, we needed to like pick our spots because it got to a point where we were like, maybe let's try all the new Kit Kats. And it was like, we have gained weight. We need to draw a line somewhere.
No. I hear you. I bought the Red Hot Peeps as one of them.
The hot tamale Peeps.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, the hot tamale Peeps.
Yeah, those I've seen. They that seems like a fun combination because they're so different. And yeah.
They were really good. Around. They were really solid. Everyone was like, that's disgusting. And I was like, if they were hot sauce, maybe, but like hot tamale.
It's like a cinnamon. Yeah. It's not that crazy.
But you're right. I think that they do have iterations of most kinds. And like you mentioned, M&Ms is one of the ones.
That's my jam. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So M&Ms are your favorite thing that does like additions.
I think, yeah, definitely. Like, because they do enough. They don't do too many that I feel overwhelmed, but they do enough. Usually they roll them out seasonally. And so it's not like I feel like I'm eating new M&Ms every week. That would be too much, but and it's just like the right size. And also, I just think M&Ms are tasty. So
do you still enjoy plain M&Ms?
The thing about M&Ms, any flavor, is if there is a bowl in front of me, I will mindlessly eat it regardless of what it is. But like, yeah, I still enjoy a plain M&M. I will still say of my power rankings of M&Ms, I'll put peanut M&M at the top still.
Interesting. See, I think
it's hard to beat.
I like peanut butter M&Ms.
That's certainly up there too. And that's in the conversation of like the GOAT. But for me, I think there's something about the crunch of the peanut. It's just like, and like there's a bit of a nostalgia thing. There is some with the peanut butter too. I've always thought it was weird that like it feels like M&Ms do not really promote or advertise peanut butter M&Ms the way they do with the other flavors. Like there's not even like, even if you think about the cartoon characters, there's not a designated peanut butter M&M of the guys. Like red is plain, yellow is peanut. Like they all have something, but there's no representation of peanut butter. It's just, and I wonder if like they just feel like they don't need to advertise it because it's like a open secret. Everybody loves it and it does fine. But I just feel like it could be part of the extended universe.
I mean, I agree with you. I think if they advertised it, it would be too much backlash from the Reeces people.
Interesting. The peanut butter wars.
Yeah, okay. Because I think everyone who and I love Reese's peanut butter cups. I mean, I love Reese's chocolate peanut, whatever.
We did variations of Reese's stuff too at one point because that was fun.
Because I remember coming to your house for a party and you had a bunch of different kinds I hadn't tried, and I was so fucking excited. Yeah,
were you there when we had the giant one? The one that you like? Yeah, it's almost like a pie. Now it's funny, we got that, and then later they did do one that was twice as big that they advertised as a pie, which was like impossible to get it, like only sold online and sold out immediately. But there was one that was like I don't know. It was like 16 servings or something, like each, I don't know. It was really
servings.
It was big, and we sliced it like a pie, and it was exciting.
Fuck
but yeah, the Reese's, it's like M&Ms, and then like also Reese's is we follow and try to keep up with.
Well,
it's exciting.
I will say, like, I love Reese's, but I really do think that the peanut butter M&Ms are superior.
Yeah, I mean, I feel that. Now, to a Reese's Pieces specifically, like if those
specifically
two,
to a Reese's Pieces.
yeah, because it's got that hint of chocolate that really takes it over the edge.
Yeah, and also it's like the size.
Yeah, you get more of it. The Reese's Piece
big.
is flatter. It's yeah.
Yeah, and I don't give a fuck.
Damn.
I know. I got really
wow.
aggressive.
She went for it.
I really did.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. It's a different vibe, but yeah, peanut butter M&M, solid.
Are you're a sweet over savory, right?
Yeah, I mean, I like both, but like I do have a sweet tooth, and I, sometimes have to hold myself back because I will want. It's like that thing you can get caught in where you want a sweet thing after every meal. Yeah, it's
called dessert.
I know, but it's not good. I mean, like it's not good for you. You know what I mean? Like that's
sure.
a bad habit. And it's one that I am at times like, that's like my only addiction. Like I don't really have the kind of common vices, I guess, but it's so lame where I'm like, sweets will be my vice. But it's true.
You're talking to a sober person. So it's like, what are my vices? Nicotine, sometimes sugar, being a bitch. Yeah. Otherwise it's like, I don't know what else to do. Although I really think that I've eaten candy in the morning. I think you should be able to eat sweet things at any fucking time that you want to.
Yeah, it's funny. We make a designation for what sweet things we can have, like pancakes and waffles and syrup. It's all like the same, but mentally we have locked into what's muffins and, muffins basically a cupcake, but we're like, no, it's breakfast.
Exactly. Like all of those things, my favorite things are breakfast pastries. And why are they my favorite things? Like a donut, the fact that we eat donuts in the morning. Like that.
I mean, you mentioned Pop-Tarts already. It's like, I used to sometimes have a Pop-Tart as breakfast before school. It's just insane. Absolutely insane. A Pop-Tart. Okay.
And like, never mind cereal. Cereal is literally like, what are we doing?
Yeah. I mean, like it's like 75% of all cereal is just like sugar in different forms.
Yeah. And food coloring and like chocolate pieces. Like, it's just like, it's so silly. So I'm just like, if you want to wake up and have a candy bar, wake up and have a candy bar. You know what I mean?
We're getting there too, because like granola bars have like, there's a Reese's like granola bar now. Yeah. I don't know if you see that. It's like a Reese's, like maybe they're calling it a snack bar or something, but it is presenting itself like an alternative for a granola bar, but it is a Reese's cup in another form.
Well, we already tried that. It was called Kudos.
Exactly. It is Kudos. It is exactly just a Kudos. And I love the trickery there because it's kind of adhering to what you're proposing, which is that like, eat the fuck whatever you want. Culturally, we need to like put it in a different box, but like it's just let yourself eat candy in the morning.
Yeah. If I eat, and sometimes if I have something like really sweet in the morning, I'm like, great for the day.
Gives you that that you need.
Yeah. If I designate it, like if I bake cookies, for example, my favorite time to eat a cookie is in the morning. Yes,
I'm with you there. And especially like the mental hurdle that I jump over, especially if it's like an oatmeal cookie, then I'm like, you're solid. Like, especially like an oatmeal raisin cookie, basically a breakfast cookie.
Yeah.
It's literally oatmeal. Like, I'm fine. I'll eat it for breakfast. I'll eat too.
But you shouldn't have oatmeal raisin cookies anywhere near your house.
Interesting. Yeah.
Are you a raisin person?
Yeah, I can be. I'm not going to be like oatmeal raisin cookies are the best cookies, but I do like them quite a bit.
Wow. Very interesting.
And oatmeal,
I don't hate them.
Oatmeal and a cookie also, I think can be very good.
Oatmeal and a cookie, I think, is normally the route that I go in general, but I like to put lots of other stuff in it. So it's like super clear it's not healthy.
Yeah.
Like I like
no
to
mistake.
Load it up with as much fucked up shit as you possibly can.
Yeah, we made cookies. And I say we, my girlfriend and I watched. But she did like kind of kitchen sink cookies recently, and that was a lot of fun.
So good.
And that seemed to have an oatmeal base, but and it had caramel and M&Ms and pretzels and chips in it, and potentially other stuff too. And it was it rocked. I loved it.
Yeah. Kitchen sink cookies are like my favorite thing too, because they're just super fun to make. Because if you start like halfway through when you're like putting the cookies on the sheet, if you're doing like, if you can't get them all in the oven at once and you're like staring at cookie dough, you're like, what if I just like fucking put some other weird shit in here? And
yeah,
like,
right. Yeah. And anything goes.
Yeah. No, there's no rules. That's my favorite. I'm always like, what if I just broke the rules? And sometimes it's terrible and it's like a big mistake. But anytime there's like a mental barrier of like, no, you're not supposed to do this because I'm like, do it.
Yeah, no, that you're not going to make history by obeying the rules, as they say.
Yeah. Isn't that, I wanted to say it, well-behaved
women? It's usually about women. Like well-behaved women rarely make history. And that's you when you're putting,
Legendary.
when you're putting, what's something stupid you could put into a cookie that you have put in a cookie?
Doritos.
That is absurd. And I love it.
Yeah. It was interesting. I was trying to sell people on it, and they were like, because it was Dorito and white chocolate.
That's tough. Did you do nacho cheese Dorito?
Yeah, because I wanted it to be hard.
Yeah.
I wanted it to be like a difficult challenge.
Right. Yeah.
And
you're making your own chopped challenge.
Yeah. I mean, that
you don't have to, but you're applying
it
to yourself.
That's super fun to me. I'm like, what if I made, because everybody's made like flaming hot Cheetos into some sort of like dessert thing. And
yeah, that's well-trodden territory, but you're looking for the new avenues.
Yeah. I'm like, what if I just like took barbecue chips and put them in cookies?
You're doing the work.
I know. It's like honestly important. I know that there are essential workers saving lives out there, but if you've never put potato chips in a cookie the way I have. Okay.
The real heroes.
The real heroes are making kitchen sink cookies and getting real experimental. And I'm not going to address that giant stack of books behind you, by the way.
I read whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. I know how to read.
I know. Are they color coded, by the way?
It's to some degree.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Have you read all those books?
None of them are mine, and I haven't touched a single one of them.
Do you put all those books in the background to prove that you're literate when you do podcasts?
Yeah, usually when I do a podcast, the question comes up, wait, do you know how to read? And so if that's there, they don't have to ask the question.
It makes it clear. Well, I think like when men do podcasts, people automatically go, they can't read. Right.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. Why else would they do this?
Yeah,
exactly.
All they know how to do is talk.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Fair.
Yeah. They choose to do this instead of curling up with a nice book.
Yeah. And if you're like, I sent you a text, they're like, I can't read. Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Fair. Okay. I want to get into your favorite snack because you chose a good one, which isn't a surprise because of just what we know about your snack choices.
Yeah. And that I take it seriously and that it's, part of my life.
You take it seriously in a way where you brought like a full throwback. So I asked you what your favorite snack was very quickly. Teddy Graham Bearwiches.
Didn't have to think about it at all. That to me was, and I guess I have to like give some props to my parents for I think that's where I get my kind of adventurous snack spirit, is because if they saw a fun snack that was different at the grocery store, they would bring it home. That's, Teddy Grahams, have come in this is pre, explosion of different varieties like we were talking about, but Teddy Grahams kind of came in different iterations. Usually everybody would, if Teddy Grahams, they're small and they come in like honey graham and chocolate, and they are, they're barely as big as like fitting on like your thumb. Like they're pretty small.
Cinnamon.
That's right. Yeah. So, I feel like kind of took an EL fudge route, which if people don't recall that, those were bigger. They were like a very dunkable sandwich cookie,
Right.
and I'm trying to think like what would be, and those were like bigger than your whole thumb, to try and like give a visual comparison. And they were flat, like cream cookie, classic sandwich cookie, and you could dunk it. They did that with Teddy Grahams. A few different like, honey graham with vanilla, chocolate cookie with vanilla. I think they also did it with chocolate cream, but the honey graham with the vanilla cream was perfect. I don't think I had a graham flavored sandwich cookie. And it was like exactly what I wanted. And it was perfect as a dunkable cookie. Of course, because it was great, it was short-lived. But we stockpiled them. And I spread them out so that I could continue to enjoy them. And like the last box, because it came in kind of like an Oreo type bag box, with like the tray inside with sleeves inside the bag. And I think like maybe it was my summer after senior year in high school. I had friends over and we finished the box together.
Wow. And how many years after it was discontinued was that?
That's a good question. Maybe a year, maybe longer. I don't know, but we held on to it. I don't want to say it was longer than a year. It doesn't feel like it, but the empty box is still in my childhood bedroom. I didn't throw away the box.
Oh my God. That's so legendary.
I wish I had it and I could show you. Maybe when I go home, I'll take a picture. But yeah,
please.
it's still there somewhere. I held on to it because it was important. It was an important snack for me, and I connected with it on a deep level.
That's amazing. And also kudos to your parents. Speaking of kudos to your parents for being adventurous with like the weird snack things. I think that's how I'm going to be as a parent. And my dad was kind of like that, but my parents had like, we were in such a rural area that we really didn't have a ton of exposure to too many different variations of food. So for my dad, he would be like, look at these curry potato chips when they were like revolutionary. And I was like, fuck you. Because just like
sure. That was your vibe at the time.
That was my vibe. I was like, fuck you. Give me something interesting. Cool Ranch for life.
Yeah.
But yeah, that I love that. And I love that you kept the box, and I love that you, everything about that story is incredible and the essence of what this podcast exists for. So
I'm so glad. I mean,
truly.
I fit the sensibility of the show. I had a feeling I would.
Yes. And I had a feeling you would. I mean, I knew. So I'm also glad Teddy Graham specifically, for whatever reason, I was allowed to have those, even though my mom normally wouldn't let me have like anything that I think they're all natural. And so that's the reason why, or like quote unquote, all natural.
Yeah, I doubt it, but
it was like she was so anti like artificial food coloring and like crazy amounts of sugar. And I think it was like honey.
Sure. And they're not like crazy colors or like, I get that on like a spectrum of like completely artificial to natural. It's maybe a little bit better than something else.
But I loved the cinnamon honey grams or Teddy Grahams.
Yeah.
Like the cinnamon Teddy Grahams to me were so good, but I loved cinnamon. Did you ever have the cinnamon graham crackers? Cinnamon sugar?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Those to me were also like godly.
That was like decadent. And like, I haven't thought about those in so long, but the graham crackers that have the sprinkling on it. Like I haven't thought about that in so long, but that was, that was a treat. That was a full treat for a treat that like can be boring. Like a graham cracker, usually you want to pair with something else by itself, but like the cinnamon sugar graham cracker by itself was solid, really good.
I think graham in general is really fucking delicious.
Like, I mean that obviously like that when they introduced it to the world of sandwich cookies, it blew my mind.
Do you know that Dunkaroos are graham based? Or they were?
Are they?
Yeah.
Interesting.
The original.
Never really got into it. But I remember the commercials, and obviously I remember the concept.
I was obsessed with like the idea of that and like just like how cool they were with like the interactive aspect.
Yes.
And during the pandemic, I tried to make my own Dunkaroos.
Okay.
And it's incredibly difficult to get graham flour, which is apparently a thing.
Interesting.
Or like some
special
mix. I'd never really thought of where that came from. I was just like, it's a thing. But I ended up doing some sort of mix that came out okay. But there's like different kinds of like graham texture, and the Teddy Grahams are the kind of texture that I prefer graham crackers to be, which you kind of only get from like a quote unquote like organic graham cracker. It's a little softer, a little crumblier. Which
well, you had mentioned a few days ago when we were texting about Teddy Grahams. There was a previous iteration of Bearwiches that I don't really remember. I only know because like in subsequent years, like occasionally trying to Google to see like if I could find some more, I landed on those old ones, which seem like they are the original Teddy Graham size sandwiches. So they are not as big and like dunkable, but they are still sandwiches, but they are just smaller.
Yeah, no, exactly. And then they realized that like it has to be bigger. It has to be competitive with EL fudge.
Or like, really Oreo. Yeah. Like anything you want. A sandwich cookie is really good, I think, if you can dunk it in milk.
Well, do you remember too, they have the goldfish. There's a couple flavors of goldfish that are sweet. And one of them is the s'mores, which is like 2 little graham goldfish with like the s'mores inside. And they're pretty teeny tiny. And I actually don't hate that.
Yeah, I haven't really waded into the pools of the sweet goldfish before. I have to say, but like I kind of know what you're talking, because I've seen like, I think there's a graham goldfish, and like I think I've seen that stuff as well, but
they do all that fucking bullshit. I did look for Teddy Graham Bearwiches online because sometimes there are specialty websites. I'm sure you ventured down the same path.
Yeah.
There are specialty websites that don't give a fuck about expiration dates.
Hell yes.
And they're just like, yeah, you could buy this for $500.
Yeah, or you find out that like they still make them in Canada or something.
Yes,
like something.
Exactly.
And I've ordered snacks and candy from Canada.
From what have you ordered?
I ordered Reeces Pieces Variations, which is like the thing I got was a Reese's piece with a peanut in it.
Whoa,
that was great.
Wow,
that was awesome. And then I still have more to get. I couldn't. I have to like again put some limits on this so that I don't get diabetes. But they also have Reese's Pieces with caramel in them, Reese's Pieces with cookie in them, and Reese's Pieces with pretzel. And I think you would like this because they are bigger. They are like peanut butter M&M size. They're not flat because like they have to stick something in there. So they're bigger. They're more substantial. The peanut was really good. I picked caramel as the first one of these that I was going to try. And I did it for my girlfriend's birthday. And it was like the caramel flavor was not present enough.
Yeah. I mean,
it didn't compete with the peanut butter, just overpowered it. So it was like good, but it just didn't fully.
Yeah. I would do the pretzel. The pretzel sounds interesting.
Yeah, I think so too. Peanut, because it's like peanut butter pretzel, but it's like in a different form and it's got a candy shell. And yeah, I that's probably going to be the next thing. And I'm also always curious about how these candies deal with the concept of cookie. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's weird, but
exactly. Like we've talked a little bit about the M&M variations. I have a friend who told me about like a world snack box subscription thing where you get different snacks from like all around the world that get shipped to you in like a subscription service. Yeah. I'm just saying, idea for your girlfriend's birthday.
Yeah.
No, but I am really eager to get into that and I keep meaning to, but then I feel like we live in such a metropolitan city that I'm like I can go if I am not being lazy, I can go to Koreatown, I can go to Thai town, I can go, granted there's
Yeah,
only so many countries, but
sure. I mean, no, we have access to a lot of stuff locally. Like it's funny,
yeah.
even going, you've been to H Mart before? The
Yes.
Korean grocery store. It's like funny because it's not just Korean candy. Like
No.
they just have a lot of sour stuff and warheads variations at H Mart for some reason. They're not
Yeah.
Korean, obviously. Like warheads are, I believe, American. Like I grew up with them, but they have like all sorts of. We got big chewy sour nerds. So the big chewy nerds are becoming kind of a thing. I don't know if you've had those before.
Yes, I have. They're
Yeah,
amazing.
they're kind of a fun texture and I enjoy them, but we only have been able to find the sour ones at H Mart. And so we get those and enjoy them quite a bit.
Yeah, I agree. That's like my favorite stuff to find too, at the iterations of like different flavors of an American brand or a brand that I recognize.
Yeah. And you never know where you're going to find it.
Yeah. And even World Market, actually, just like, I'm like, yeah, I'll go to World Market and get a bunch of shit. Like that's that's actually, I tend to have a lot of fun in World Market buying stupid shit.
Yeah.
Specifically, I like Japanese candy, I think, for their fruity flavors because they're pretty fun and they're more in line with like what I don't like there being like spice. I feel like Mexican candy is like accessible everywhere in LA. And
you can get that anywhere. Also, kind of not like the chili powder in the candy is not my thing.
I fucking hate it. I hate it so much. And that's on me. I understand that's my preference.
It's your palate and you're very, maybe it's an American palate thing too, but
it might be, but I'm just like, I hate it. Get it out of don't surprise me with that secret fucking, that's the last thing I want to dip my lollipop in. Are you joking? There's like dips where it's like, dip it in this spice. And I'm like, I would rather throw myself off a building.
Yeah.
So
I feel you there. Yeah. I'm not a spicy guy for anything, and that extends to candy, especially. It just feels like it's invading a territory where it doesn't belong, in my opinion. Again, not to be culturally insensitive, but
no. I always think that it's a part of it is probably because I'm just super white, but like I also I like to think I have pretty good taste in other respects outside of that, but we like what we're familiar with too. I wish I could say I was like one of those people who are like, wow, I love really spicy things, but I'm such a fucking pussy. I'm like, don't ruin I don't want to cry while I'm eating something I enjoy.
Yeah. Pain was kind of supposed to be the opposite of what I was experiencing with the food it was my thought, but some people love it.
Some people do. Okay, so I want to get into 2 rounds of 2 truths and a lie, themed off of Teddy Graham Bearwiches. So do you know how to play the game?
Sure.
3 statements, you spot the lie,
and
then we'll see if you're smart or dumb.
Great. We have these books, but this is really going to be the definitive.
Honestly, if you get any of these wrong, forget it.
I'm done. I'm done.
Okay. So here's the first statement. Teddy Roosevelt refused to shoot a bear cub while on a hunting trip in 1902. Here's the second statement.
Okay.
Nabisco is a fascist organization run by grown-up juvenile delinquents. 3.
Okay.
3. Teddy Grahams are the 3rd best-selling cookie in the U.S.
This is tough.
The lie?
This is really tough. Now, could you say the second one again?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so the second statement was Nabisco is a fascist organization run by grown-up juvenile delinquents.
Okay. I'm going to say now, listen, Nabisco is definitely a fascist organization,
Yeah.
but I believe it is run by current juvenile delinquents, not grown-up juvenile delinquents. So I'm going to say that one is the lie.
Okay, you would be correct, but here's the thing about that. We don't really have proof one way or the other.
Right.
So we don't know. It honestly could be a bunch of juvenile delinquents in a trench coat that are just running the company.
Yeah, no, you're right. We do not know, and we should not trust the information we're given.
No, I mean, I
Do
think
your
we
own
both
research.
agree it's a half truth because they are a fascist organization.
Yeah, duh, obviously.
And I stand by that. But yeah, okay. All right. So fair. So you're not dumb. But Teddy Grahams being the third best-selling cookie in the US was impressive to me personally.
That is. I would have I was also thinking, that one might have been a lie.
Yeah. No,
because
Oreo
like
and
Oreo, like obviously, and like Chips Ahoy or Keebler or like any of those seem like they would be, but Teddy, yeah, I mean, good on Teddy Grahams. That's
right.
We must tip our hat.
I
TG.
agree. I agree. I'm pretty wait, I just had a thought. Wait, were there Berenstain Bear cookies?
Berenstain Bears did not really like merchandise too much. Like there was basically the books, and then like there was a Berenstain Bears land at Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio. But I don't think they really they didn't really go like Flintstones level, like put their, face names and characters and stuff.
They had a cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. For some reason, I thought they had like animal crackers, but maybe I'm wrong. If I don't
think so.
Yeah,
but I do love when weird branding outlasts the original source.
Oh, like, yeah.
I think about because I brought the Flintstones because I think about that a lot. Like the Flintstones are vitamins. The Flintstones are Cocoa Pebbles. They're Fruity Pebbles. I don't know if they're still push-up pops, but they were push-up pops for a long time too. I think they
brought them back.
But like kids don't know who the Flintstones are. You can't watch the Flintstones. There's not even like Flintstones movies anymore. It's just such an old thing. But the branding, I guess now kids think of them as the guys on the Fruity Pebbles box. They've fully outlived the like cultural knowledge of the Flintstones.
100%. I think about that all the time, actually.
What's a really interesting one is Andy Capp hot fries. Because like Andy Capp is, especially in America, like a pretty obscure comic strip character. Yeah. But his branding is all over that. And you see the guy with the cabbie hat and it's covering his eyes and stuff. And that one, again, people think, oh, that's probably just the hot fries guy. But he's like a popular British comic strip. It's very strange.
Well, I don't even know if kids are eating hot fries. I guess they are. No, I take that back. They are.
Yeah, that might have been fully rebranded by now. But for the longest time, it was Andy Capp. I don't know the last time I've seen it called Andy Capp. And it might not be anymore in America. They might have finally been like, we need to pivot.
Right. They're like, you guys gotta fucking relax on this. Okay. So here is your second round. So far you won the first round. Okay. Here are your three statements. Teddy Grahams come in two positions, legs open and legs closed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Second one. Dizzy Grizzlies were a version of the cookie that were named because they had sprinkles on the back and would get dizzy trying to look at them. 3. Caramel Teddy Grahams were discontinued.
I am going to say the third one is the lie. The caramel Teddy. No, excuse me. No. That one's true. Hold on. So they all seem this one they all seem true to me. But this one, see, the first one was funny.
Yeah.
But the second one is less funny.
I think it's pretty funny. Legs open, legs closed, but
right. But yeah, I guess that's not. I thought that was true though, but it's arms, isn't it? I guess I'll.
Is it?
I don't know. Because legs open, legs closed is funny, but like I think that's what it is. But maybe it's arms. I'm going to say it's arms. I'm going to say the first one's a lie and that it's arms open, not legs open.
Okay. Well, you're not completely wrong because it's a combination of legs and arms.
Okay.
But the legs are involved. Therefore, you're.
That's why I
incorrect.
was. Yeah. That's why I was.
The false is that there has never been caramel Teddy Grahams.
Okay. See, that's you tricked me because I was like, that's got to be true because I've never seen them, but they never existed in the first place.
They never existed.
Discontinued.
Yeah, they've stayed really conservative with the flavors of Teddy Grahams. They really haven't done what we had previously talked about, which was try to create several different flavors.
Because the thing about you couldn't really do caramel because there's no such thing really as caramel flavor. It's all caramel texture, right? Like, have you ever seen a caramel iteration where it's caramel flavor? It's all about the texture with caramel. Otherwise, I don't know what it would be, but like, and I've never seen them mess around outside of, doing the sandwich cookie. I've never seen a Teddy Graham mess around with like a texture. Like, would you pump it full of caramel? And then like, I don't even know what that would look like, but it exists only in your imagination. So.
Yeah. I mean, I would think that they would come up with some sort of creative. I mean, I guess if they're not using artificial flavoring, then it's more difficult. But like for example, I've had some of the Oreo flavors, the center just tastes like coffee flavoring. It tastes like coffee, like syrup or
actually
like
I had one of those the other day. It was as a coffee, some sort of, but it's not just coffee Oreo. It's like, they have to give it some specific type of coffee name, but it was actually good. It worked. Like coffee flavor with chocolate is always good.
I believe that did. I did a comedy show in Huntington Beach, literally the most random thing in the world. And I walked in and the guy at the front desk had like these like toffee Oreos out. And I was like, what are these? And he's like, I don't know. I just really wanted to try them. And I was like, fuck yeah, dude. And I tried it and it tasted like coffee creamer. And I was like, this is disgusting. And he was like, yeah, I know. And I was like,
well, I think part of it is like toffee flavor. That's not like like caramel. Toffee is so much about the texture.
Yeah.
Like if you don't have that texture, then like it's going to feel off.
Yeah. I mean, I
like toffee a lot. I think toffee is underrated.
Oh, I fully agree. I think toffee is deeply, deeply underrated. It's one of my favorite
in America
textures.
Like I think English toffee is like a whole different thing, and like they appreciate it. But over here, we've never really, because like who's fucking around with a Score bar? You know what I mean? Like
Sam Wiles, actually.
Yes, I know our friend Sam will bring up Score frequently, but like Score and like Heath Bar, like those are considered to be like sub-tier candies, but like toffee rules.
I would say the Heath bars were my favorite kind of like one of my favorite kinds of Halloween candy because I felt like they were the perfect bite when they were in the snack size.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that was like always a thing where I was like, fuck yeah, nobody wants this.
Yeah, then you get to reap the benefits. Yeah, because you can get all the Heath you want.
Well, liking unpopular candy or candy that's like underrated there's so many benefits to it other than sometimes you can't find it where you need to.
Right. But you can also get the intellectual superiority that you are onto something that other people aren't, which I think you and I probably are in agreement of.
Yeah, which I love, but also people seem to not care enough. Like I want to argue about it and they're like, yeah, we don't need to discuss this further.
You're like, no, but I'm special. And they're already gone.
I know. I'm like, no, come back here and discuss this. And then like, let me make a case. And they're like, yeah, I absolutely didn't want to talk about this to begin with. And you brought this up. Okay. I want to get into fuck, marry, kill Polly because I feel like you're either going to be really decisive or this is going to be difficult for you. Okay. And I tried to make it so that it would be difficult, but we'll see. So we have 3 different categories for fuck,
Okay.
marry, kill, poly, 4 choices in each category. The rules are as such, it's fuck, marry, kill as you would. And then poly is essentially what comes next with your married partner. So your married is your primary, and your poly choice, you can have either a sexual relationship without strings attached, or you can have a more romantic, committed relationship. But either way, they are more significant than your fuck.
Okay. Sure.
Okay.
I think I
Great.
get that. All right.
Okay, great. So there are 3 different categories. The 3 different categories are sandwich cookies, special edition M&Ms, and plain potato chips.
Okay. I love it. I
Yeah.
love all 3 of these categories.
Okay, we're going to start with sandwich cookies. So here are your choices for fuck, marry, kill, poly in the sandwich cookie category. We have Oreos, just regular Oreos, not double stuff. Not
Sure.
Thins. We've got the Keebler fudge elf. So the EL fudge, we're talking about that. Nutter butters and lemon sandwich cookies, which I haven't found like a significant brand, but I hope you know the kind that I'm referring to.
Do I?
It's just a lemon cream in the center.
Okay. Well, out of the gate, I'm killing the lemon cream.
No.
I'm sorry. I'm killing it just because, I mean, partially is like I don't exactly have something to hang my hat on, but like of the creams, lemon isn't my favorite.
Okay.
So I think lemon's got to be killed and eliminated.
Do you hate citrus? Like, do you like citrusy flavors in general, or do you like to keep them candy centric?
No, I totally do. It's just not my preferred, especially of this particular category. It's like, if we're talking sandwich cookies, I like a vanilla cream.
Interesting.
That is top tier. Although, I mean, you mentioned the EL fudge, which to me, the textbook ideal EL fudge is vanilla cookie chocolate cream.
Right.
So that being said, I'll mess around, but a lemon cream to me just isn't like, it's just not part of the spirit of sandwich cookies, in my opinion. So we're killing it. And then the next options are fuck, marry, poly. And we're dealing with Nutter Butters, Oreos, and EL fudge.
Yes.
I think, and I know I just said the thing about vanilla cream.
Yeah.
But I think I marry the EL fudge. I think I do, because it is, we've talked a lot about dunkability. I really think the EL fudge is a perfect platonic ideal of a dunkable cookie.
Yeah.
And I think I like the way the vanilla cookie absorbs the milk better than I do with an Oreo. Like there's some, I don't know what it is, but like there's some Oreos also, I'm maybe willing to stick my neck out here and say Oreos are overrated. Oreos are considered to be the sandwich cookie. And maybe it's the contrarian in me, but like Oreos are fine.
Right.
I think they're maybe a little bit like greasy sometimes. I think they also fuck up your teeth like immediately in a way that almost no other cookie does, which is like it gets everywhere. Like the other like literally every other cookie, it's like, it's fine. And maybe it's the visibility of like the dark black cookie.
It is.
But like it's a nightmare. And so in that regard, I think it's just got to be quick and dirty with the Oreo, which means I have to fuck the Oreo.
Okay.
And then, Nutter Butters, it's like, those are good, don't have an issue, would love to see them again.
Yeah.
So I think they fit well in the poly category.
Okay. Interesting. I might agree with you, and I like your reasoning. I do like a lemon sandwich cookie. So this is like more difficult for me. I think the EL fudge cookies are so good
Yeah, that's like, and that hits a nostalgia spot for me too.
Yeah, there's just something. And here's the thing. I used to worship Oreos and I still like Oreos and I like the flavor.
Mhm.
However, I think the older I've gotten, the more I've become less enchanted by them and the filling
Yeah.
and more apathetic. I still fuck so hard with a cookies and cream anything and the
Yeah.
flavor of the
Yeah.
Oreo.
That's
mixed
maybe
with
the best
other
version of
things.
an Oreo is in vanilla ice cream as cookies and cream.
Yeah, like a cookies and cream. I like chunks of Oreo. I've made an Oreo cake before. That's been
Yeah.
really good.
Mhm.
So there's like iterations of like how you use Oreos that I find incredible. But just eating a plain Oreo,
Yeah, it's not. It's fine. It's
yeah,
fine. I actually prefer a golden Oreo.
oh, that makes sense.
I
That makes
prefer
sense.
gold. If I like an EL fudge, it's like golden Oreo. I think Oreos is what they called the one where it was just flipped, where it was chocolate cream
Yes.
and vanilla cookie. Also, maybe that's a little bit of my hang up with chocolate is I do think chocolate, I tend not to like chocolate as a base. Like
Okay.
I like chocolate as,
An
flair.
accent.
Yeah. So like with an EL fudge, the chocolate isn't overpowering to me. It is like assisting in a beautiful marriage with the vanilla cookie. But the Oreo, it's almost like there's almost like, for me personally, like too much chocolate and, the aforementioned issues that I've brought up.
Oh yeah. I mean, the classic, I had an episode where I talked about that was it Kevin Christie I had on, and he talked about how you eating an Oreo on set, if you're an actor, is like one of the most disrespectful things you can do to the makeup crew because you just look like a fucking slob.
Yeah.
Like there's no way to
you demolish your
Oreo.
appearance immediately.
I mean,
that's a very funny observation. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like crazy. It gets in the corner of your mouth. It's in your teeth. Like you said, it's just, there's no way to eat an Oreo and smile and like not feel like an absolute fool.
Yeah. And also Oreos are a ripoff. Hydrox got there first.
I know, but
historically, just, a little, that's not like the foundation of my argument, but, just throwing it out there.
I know, but their name was so medical that people were like, we don't want to fucking eat that.
Yeah, no, terrible, terrible branding.
They kept the name too. They like really tried to stand their ground. And it was like, you guys, this is a very clear.
And they're gone now.
They're gone. Goodbye. Bye-bye. They got what they deserved for not being good enough. Guess you don't have to be the first. You just have to be the best.
Damn.
Bam.
Capitalism.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to be the first. You just have to create a monopoly.
Absolutely.
I love Nutter Butters. I think that they're luxurious in so many ways. But I never get them. So I think that Nutter Butters for me would be the fuck because I'm essentially going to do a little swap with I'm going to marry the EL fudge.
Good.
I am going to poly with the Oreos because I still do enjoy a good Oreo.
Hard to quit Oreo, full stop. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like, I like that they have variety. I think that their variety would almost sway me to marry them.
Yeah. You will never get tired because there's always going to be something new.
Exactly. And they can take many different forms. However,
but that's a little dangerous too. Who are you marrying really?
That's such a good point.
Think about it.
It is a good point. It's a really good point. Who am I marrying? I do think that like sometimes you have to go with the reliable, the steadfast partner that is going to be there for you in the same way consistently. And that is EL fudge.
Exactly. Excellent, An excellent cookie and an excellent partner.
solid. Although I wonder if they have a double stuff version. I would be great with that, but it's fine.
Quickly.
Yeah.
Do you think they're ever going to do double stuffed Pop-Tarts?
No.
Interesting. It just feels like for a company that now is like trying everything.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised that hasn't been like an idea thrown. I mean, if I had to put money on it, that will happen eventually.
I hope it does, but I think that they're concerned about it fitting in a toaster. And I think
there's the layer of fruit filling in a Pop-Tart is like razor thin. If you double it, it barely gets, it's going to fit in the, you know what I mean? It'll fit in a toaster is my idea. Like to give it double stuff, it brings it up like a millimeter, like a half a millimeter. Like it's just so
flavors,
tiny.
Different flavors are filled differently. The cinnamon sugar, the brown sugar, whatever.
Cinnamon,
yeah, that one is filled the most.
Yeah, I think you're right. Totally. And that's maybe my favorite. I love a brown sugar cinnamon Pop-Tart.
The brown sugar cinnamon Pop-Tart's delicious. The reason that the thing that does deter me from the fruit flavors is that there's not enough inside. And I do think that they do that for a cost efficiency thing. I think that they would have to cut into their margins if they used more fruit. That's just what happens.
They would also maybe, if like that's the one thing that feels like doesn't change that much, they maybe would have to like fully alter the way that the assembly line makes those things.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But you know, it would be, I think it would cause major waves in the Pop-Tart community if they went double stuff.
I agree with you. I fully agree with you. And I would buy them in a minute to try them. That would be a full on thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's our next category, special edition M&Ms. I tried to pick some safe ones. I'm pretty sure you've had all of these. So
sure. It's most likely. I've done my work.
Yeah. Some of them are not like super special edition. Okay. So here are your choices for Fuck, Marry, Kill, Polly. We have brownie fudge or whatever the
fudge brownie
is. Okay. I mean,
I would have let you go with it, but you questioned yourself.
No, you're right.
It seemed like you wanted help.
Fudge brownie, peanut butter, sugar cookie, and pretzel.
Okay. Sugar cookie gets killed.
Okay.
Sugar cookie gets killed.
Wow.
And I hate that I was so fast about it, and I didn't. But just like looking at it, it's just the one that is my least favorite. That I just don't think it's got a white chocolate base too, right?
Yeah.
I don't think M&M's white chocolate is very good. I would prefer to just kind of forget about any white chocolate iterations. That being said, if there's a bowl in front of me, I will eat them, and I will be like, these are good, but you know, I did that with all. I mean, there's some weird M&Ms where I was like,
you said you liked key lime pie.
Yeah.
And I was like, these are straight up fucking bad. And you were like, no, they're really not that bad. They're really.
Exactly.
Interesting.
The worst I've had, and this is not on the list, but the speaking of graham, the honey graham M&Ms were by far the worst iteration. I think outside of just white chocolate, which was like awful, but like
sure.
I had a few years with like every iteration I was like pretty fine with. The honey graham, they whiffed it hard.
They shit the bed so hard on that. It's
crisp rice, and then there's this terrible artificial graham flavoring. Awful,
no,
awful.
It really would not have taken much effort for them to put fucking graham in it.
No.
Like the fact that they cheated with crispy rice pisses me the fuck off.
They don't deserve any more attention to what they've done. We've made it clear. They can.
We're stupid.
All right. Now, I might make a controversial choice here.
Okay.
I'm inclined to marry pretzel.
I love that choice though.
Pretzel's, I think, so good. And I think offers something different than maybe any other M&M variation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because it's not like we said, so many of them, it's just like they're taking crisp rice and then they're doing something else with it.
Right.
Or it's like a white chocolate thing, or it's like a nut thing. Pretzel is so its own thing. Pretzel and chocolate is just so good. I think the pretzel M&M is great. I'm going to marry it. I think it would be, you gotta have peanut butter on the side though.
You do.
Peanut butter is a great side piece. And if peanut butter wants to get involved with pretzel, if we all set our terms and we feel like we could, and I've never done that before, a peanut butter M&M with a pretzel M&M, and that sounds good to me.
Sounds very fucking good.
And so like, okay, that's happening. And then, fudge and fuck are already so close as words. It almost seems preordained. It almost seems preordained. But the fudge brownie is a little, you do feel a little naughty because it feels like something for a little fat boy. It's a little decadent and it's rich.
Yeah.
And so I think that's a good candidate for fuck.
Interesting. Okay. I respect those choices, except I actually really got into the sugar cookie flavor because I felt like it was I thought it was the best use of the crispy rice yet.
Okay. Yeah. Now to clarify, the sugar cookie was seasonal for Christmas, right?
It was seasonal for Christmas specifically.
Yeah. And so I don't think I had any this year, but we had them last year, and they might have been, that's when they came out. I don't remember but yeah, we definitely had them, and I definitely ate a lot of them.
Yeah. I got a bag and I was like, these are going to be ass. And then I just kept being like, no, these are good. And then I kept them in the pantry for a long time, and I would keep going back and grabbing a few more. Whereas like I had the key lime pie more recently and the graham, and I was like, I don't want any more of these. I just truly don't want them. But I agree with you in most respects. However, I would kill the fudge brownie because I just don't, I think it tastes too muddy.
Yeah. It's like not that far from just a regular M&M anyway, but what it's giving you is kind of a little bit of a different texture and like a slightly different flavor profile. To call it fudge, I know it's hard to say. It's fudgy, definitely different, and it is fudgy, but it's like, it's an interesting choice for them as a variation, I think.
I mean, I don't like it's like compressed brownie, and I just, I could do without it, but I would marry the pretzel in a heartbeat. I would poly with the peanut butter exactly the same. I would make us all sleep in the same bed, even if it was not consensual.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, even if one party was like, I'm not interested, I would be like, it's this or nothing. And
yeah, really draw a line.
I would draw a hard line. I would say we all go together. And I would fuck the sugar cookie because it's seasonal. And so I would seasonally fuck it.
It's a fling.
It's a fling. And to me, it's a worthwhile fling. Yeah. That's one I'll keep going back to occasionally, but I don't need it all the time because like you said, the white chocolate, not particularly impressive.
And I can't stress enough, like never get the just white chocolate M&M where it's just, there's nothing, you're not cutting it with anything.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. I don't think I would like that. I do like white chocolate. And I like it when it's mixed well with certain things. I'll also eat white chocolate chips.
Yeah. It's like, I think when it comes from like these huge corporations that are making like the cheapest white chocolate, like, it like turns and it becomes garbage.
It does. I mean, like the Hershey's cookies and cream bar, for that reason, I like can't have that. And so many people love that. Nick loves that. Like people are like big on that.
I have fond memories of it. I think it's cut well. Like there's just so much of the cookie in there that it's not dominating.
Well, everyone loves some chocolate crunchies too.
Yeah.
It's on. I mean, that's
Across the board.
Who doesn't? Okay. So, our final category for fuck, marry, kill, poly, we have plain potato chips. So we kept it incredibly simple in contrast for this round. So fuck, marry, kill, poly, plain potato chips. The variations are brands. So we've got Lay's, Ruffles, Pringles, and Kettle Chips.
Fuck. This is hard. This is really hard. Ooh, man, I like all these chips. They're all these chips.
Slightly different, but they're all a plain potato chip.
I always kill first to get it out of the way.
Yeah.
And, I'm never happy to do it.
Sure.
But I realize the necessity. I'm killing Ruffles. You're a different shape. Awesome. Whatever, man. Like you've got ridges. Okay, cool. Like do something else. Get out of here, Ruffles. You're not going to impress me with your texture. All right. No, you're gone. You're not in the conversation anymore. All right. I have some partners to sort out. Ooh. A wise man once said, once you pop,
oh my God,
the fun don't stop. And I feel that. Okay. And so the fun don't stop, though. You have to think about that. It's fun.
Yeah,
right?
But what's fun? Eating them or making the duck face? Because I already know what you're talking about, and they're Pringles.
Of course, yeah. Well, that'd be crazy if you didn't know what I was talking about. It's like a very, very famous slogan.
Well, I don't know.
All right. Once you pop, the fun don't stop. To me, that's very sexual.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm sure I want to have fun. I want to have a good time. And so I'm going to fuck the Pringles.
Okay.
And I have to, we've talked a lot about reliability and consistency with the partner you choose to wed. And I think I have to go with the OG Lay's potato chip. I believe their slogan is, you can't just have one. And I will, I can't just have one. I'll take a lifetime, please. I'll take till death do us part with the Lay's potato chip. And then kettle chips they do something really special. And, I want them in my life as well. They're their own thing. Sure. And I don't know that they can bring me the consistency of a Lay's. So they're going to be the poly. They're going to come in and on occasion, and I'm going to be so happy to see them. Okay. But I've got my rock. You've got your rock
in the Lay's. Now, for the kettle chips, do you prefer the folded over, or do you like the pure circular chip?
Folded over is fun.
Folded over is fun.
Folded over is really fun.
But that will slice your gums up.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, I don't know. I'll take it however I can get it, really.
Sure. Well, you're not marrying it, you're polying it.
Exactly. So, and if we have to have a discussion.
Okay, so those are interesting choices. I do respect them. I'm going to go into this out the gate saying that I think plain potato chips are an abomination. And I don't think that they're good. And I think that they need to have a dip accompanying them. Otherwise, it's a waste of your time and energy. So that being said, I am going to kill Pringles.
Okay.
Because I've never found the fun in them. They're like compressed. They taste like the way Lay's baked potato chips taste.
Wow. So you're coming in here with like some real hatred for two of these categories, two of these iterations. And
yeah,
makes me wonder if you like potato chips.
I love potato chips.
Okay,
I
okay.
do not. I mean, I like tortilla chips better than potato chips, and that's not a secret. I'll take a Dorito hands down or some sort of flavored tortilla chip over a potato chip any day of the week. But I'm gonna have to kill the Pringle because it's unnatural.
Yeah, it's very processed, and it is. You're
immoral.
Right. That's kind of what I like about it.
Sure.
You know, it's my dirty little secret with the Pringles.
Yeah. Respectfully.
But there's some deep nostalgia too with Pringles. And I mean, kind of all these chips, but like Pringles in particular, like we had, and I didn't do this. I know we talked about like I kept the Teddy Graham box, but like for whatever reason, we held on to like different iterations of Pringles cans. Yeah. You know, because they would do different iterations. They still do, but like
they still do, but they've pulled it back quite a bit.
But like they did corn chips, Pringles corn chips, you know, probably like in the early 90s or 80s or something. Wow. I kind of remember them. But I remember we held on to because it's an iconic tube.
For sure.
You got to give it that. Yeah.
And
I like that guy. I like the mustache guy.
You like the guy, the Pringles guy.
Yeah.
He is actually a steampunk, and people just, he was like, I love pipes everywhere. One thing you don't know about me, I like to lay the pipe in my bedroom. Okay. Literal pipe. Okay. I have to go. No.
Late tube.
Yes, exactly. Okay. So I would kill the Pringles. Mm-hmm. I don't know what I would marry. I mean, so I like kettle chips. I think they're generally good because I'm a texture person, but they're almost too hard for me. Like I think a Ruffle is almost the perfect texture for me. So I feel like I would have to marry the Ruffle.
Okay.
Poly with the Lay's. Because I think a Lay's potato chip plain is heinous. But I think if I was trying to fuck a kettle chip on the regular, it would just be ugly. It would be painful. I would hate it.
So it's a one and done deal. Maybe with the kettle chip, it's like,
yeah, with the kettle chip, it's like, yeah, we fuck every year, like once a year.
It's funny that in your head, it's like you are 3 out of these, you are fucking to some frequency.
That's why this game is so fun, because the most of the game is just talking about having sex with snacks. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I mean, there's only one part where you just straight up say no. The rest of it,
kill somebody.
I mean, you can.
The game is you fucking blow someone's brains out, then you have fuck. You fuck everything else.
You fuck all the other ones. Although technically, you could have a sexless marriage. That's like, you know,
that's possible.
You could use them for the stability and then no spark, which to me would be plain potato chips in general. Mm-hmm. So I maybe wouldn't be. I would maybe be not having sex with any of them in this situation, except for the kettle chip. I would just prefer
having
to go on
sex
dates.
with chips seems like it would hurt.
I mean, sure, but unless it's sexy, okay. Unless it's sexy ass chip,
sexy.
Yeah. Okay, well, that has been the podcast. This has been great. I can't even tell you how much I appreciate how seriously you take snacks. I take
it so seriously, and I feel as though we could do this for hours, and we've like barely scratched the surface. And I just love snacks so much.
Oh no, don't cry. It's gonna be okay. Snacks. I definitely understand. Where can everyone find you? Plug all your stuff.
Yeah. You can follow me on Twitter at Joe K, on Instagram, Joe Kwa. You can watch my Comedy Central special on Paramount Plus, or if you don't have that, literally, you can just DM me and I will send you a link and you can watch the special that way if you'd like to. And also, I don't know if there's any overlap here, but if you're looking for a music podcast, I do one about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That's a lot of fun, called Who Cares About the Rock Hall. So that's all my stuff.
Fuck yeah. Yes, please check out all of Joe's stuff. It's very funny, very diverse group of work. I don't know how to say group. Anyway, this is the part where I just like throw myself off of the podcast physically. Okay, guys, thanks for listening. Thanks again, Joe, and we will see you next time.